Hi, my name is Jay.
Ivan.
Ivan, and your name is?
Celeste.
Celeste. We're out here at Balboa Park in San Diego, California, and we're out asking the big question to people. What do you guys think is going to happen to you after you die? Your eyes go closed, and what happens next? Something or nothing?
Well, I believe personally that when I die, I instantly go up to heaven. That's my belief. I'm a born-again Christian, and I just believe that once somebody dies and passes away, you immediately you go up to heaven if you're saved. And
You believe that all your life?
yeah, pretty much.
You share that same belief?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys go to a church in San Diego somewhere, or are you from out of the area?
I do, in Poway.
Okay. What denomination of church do you go to?
Non-denominational.
Okay. I go to a non-denominational church myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's pretty much it.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay. We're Christians. Before we go any
That's
further,
what I figured.
Yeah, we are, and we're out here sharing the gospel with you guys. And that's one of the things we're supposed to be doing. All right, and kind of one thing that kind of helps motivate us to do that was we put this thought in our mind. Think of your best friend who's not saved. Think of them getting in a suddenly developing cancer and dying, or having some tragic accident occur to them and then dying, and you didn't get around to sharing the gospel with them.
Right.
You say you're a Christian, where are they going?
Well, we know that they'll be going in a place that wouldn't be very nice for eternity.
Okay. Now, now picture that friend in that place that's not too nice for eternity, down there, saying, "Why didn't you say something to me about that?
Right.
Why did you put it off? I thought you meant something to me. I thought you were a friend." Right? So that, I don't know, that kind of gets in there and just kind of moves around on us. And kind of helps motivate us to get out there. I mean, the easiest thing to do is kind of sit around and go,
Right.
but we gotta. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty on that regard. I'm just kind of telling you what puts the fire on us, and hopefully, maybe that same thought will do the same for you. But I don't recommend this way necessarily. I think the best way to share the gospel with people is somebody you know that trusts you, that you can sit down with and really spend time with them and kind of nurture them along the way. But at the same time, there's different ways of doing it. We choose this way because it goes on the World Wide Web. It's going to all. We've gotten hits on our website from all over the world, and it's just our way of doing it.
It's awesome.
Jesus is not coming back until the gospel's proclaimed throughout the world.
That's right.
Hey, this might be a way to help do that, but you never know. But one of the ways we evangelize is to give people what's called the good person test. You ever heard of it?
No, I've not.
You ever heard of the actor Kirk Cameron?
Yes.
He does Growing Pains. He did the movie Fireproof. He goes around with a guy named Ray Comfort, and they do this test during their evangelism things. And let me give it to you real quick. You guys ever told a lie in your life?
I'm sorry?
You ever told a lie in your life?
Yes, of course.
So is everybody in this park, right? What does the world call people that lie?
Liars, I guess.
Liars, there you go. Have you ever stolen anything in your life? Taken something without permission, even as a kid?
Yes.
What does the world call people that steal?
Thieves.
Thieves, there you go. Have you ever said the Lord's name in vain, said it in a curse word?
Yes.
And in the Bible, that's called blasphemy, right? You're calling your Creator a dirty word, right? It's like, so what we say is, so we believe as Christians, after this life ends, you're going to come up before God. He's going to judge you for what you've done in this life. So based on the sins you just told me that you've done, do you think you're going to go to heaven or hell on that judgment day?
That's a very interesting question. Definitely going to go to heaven because I believe that Christ paid the price for those sins. So that's just, my faith is in Him, it's not in me. So it's not by works.
Good. So you put your trust you know without a doubt. I mean, you're testing yourself frequently.
Right.
Make sure that's real inside of there, because you know, it's one thing to just kind of say it with your lips.
That's right.
It's another one to get it inside you. Right. And if it's inside you,
it becomes a way of life.
Yeah, it becomes a way of life. It's not that you are doing good things in your life out of just because you feel guilty or whatever. It's because you think so highly of Jesus and what He's done for you in your life that you do it to glorify Him.
Right.
Right. And you're an example to others that walk the way. You know, I mean, you're out there a Christian, and you're out there kind of doing those things you know you shouldn't be doing, and everybody's watching you all the time, and they see, hey, I thought he was a Christian. Man, he's just, what's up with that? And I don't know, some people, I think that it's like a get out of jail free card to believe in Jesus. Right. And they use it, and they don't really believe in Jesus, but they say they do. And they go out and they do all those things they shouldn't be doing. They go, I got Jesus, I can just do them anyway.
Right.
Right. It's kind of one of those things, those gray areas that people get caught up in, and I don't know. But
kind of like Calvinism: once saved, always saved. You know?
Yeah. So,
you pretty much do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. That's the do whatever you want to do. Right. If you're doing whatever you want to do, then you got to question whether or not you've actually asked Jesus Christ in your life and He's working within your life. You really got to question that, because He wouldn't be doing that. You wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't have. Right. I mean, we've got sin in ourselves. We were born that way, but you should notice a change within yourself.
Right. It's a process, Sanctification is a process. So.
Yeah, but it's but God knows your heart, right?
Right. Absolutely.
He knows whether, like, you have an addiction as an example. Right. Okay. But God knows whether you're trying to turn away from that addiction or not. You're not fooling Him.
Right. Of course.
Right. Like if somebody's into drugs and they can't get away from it, but He knows your heart. He knows where you're going with that. My wife and I, like I said, we're Christians, and we believed in Jesus Christ before a significant event occurred in our life. But once this event occurred, it even underlined even the more for us that He's real. On November 6th of 2007, right after the 2007 wildfires, remember those wildfires in 2007? We were actually evacuated from our home in 2007. We live in Hamul. I lost an 18-year-old son in a car accident. I lost him suddenly. I didn't get to say goodbye. Just boom, it happened. He was the day it happened. He was driving in a car. He'd been driving for 1 week when it occurred. It was a used car. It was a used Acura Integra. He just had to have. He goes, Dad, I gotta have this. I gotta have this. I'm tired of this Jeep, this 4-cylinder Jeep. It's just slow. I can't even get up this hill very fast. You gotta help me get into this new car. So it was a used car, actually. My son was a cross-country runner since the age of 8. He was an AP. He just graduated from high school. He was an AP calculus student in high school. He was a healthy kid, didn't do drugs, drink, or anything like that. He actually did an autopsy after his accident. He was clean. But the unusual part is he was driving to Mesa College when the accident occurred. It was in the middle of a day, a dry road day, just like this. Driving in this used car, we think something failed in his car. He was in the fast lane over by In-N-Out Burger in Lemon Grove area on the 94 West. And he ended his life in the backyard of that house with a white cross on it. That white cross on that roof was there many years before my son's accident. These skid marks are his skid marks. They came from the fast lane. They're right here. There was a tree here. He hit the tree, split his car in half, ripped him out of his seatbelt, and he landed in the backyard of this house looking up at the cross. Parts of his car were completely scattered around the cross and the roof. We actually have news video coverage of the owner of the house picking up parts of a car around on the cross and the roof. So that was a trial in our life. We're all going to lose loved ones sooner or later in our life. But the real question is, did my son believe and trust in Jesus Christ and get his sins forgiven? Because you don't know when your last moments, he didn't know before that happened. And we think he did, but we're his earthly parents. Kids will tell their parents anything. But our Heavenly Father knows what inside did he really trust in that. So that happened. We miss him every day. But the next thing that occurred after what this happened was another unusual thing. My son was an organ donor. He donated his body to an organization called LifeShare. And we got a letter. This is the newspaper article on November 7th, 2007. That's his car. 18-year-old driver killed when he slammed into a tree. We got a letter from the guy that got my son's ligament in his arm. Tommy had Tommy John surgery. He's a baseball pitcher. And he wrote us this real nice letter, and he had dreams of being a quarterback. He was in high school. He went to Mater Dei High School. And he actually went to school with Matt Barkley. I don't know if you know who Matt Barkley is. He's a USC quarterback. And he was hoping to be that quarterback instead of Matt, but he blew his arm out. So he wrote us this real nice letter. And at the end of the letter, he left his phone number at the end of the letter and asked us to call him. It's that we crossed it out down here. But so my wife got on her cell phone, called him, and we got his voicemail. Left him a voicemail, and we didn't hear anything back from him for a very long time. No call back, no nothing. We were like, oh, he's 18 years old. Maybe he just got busy with his life, and it sure was a nice letter he sent, though. So we're left with that. Well, one day, my wife and I were foster youth mentors. We take kids from the county out, and we'll take them camping, bike riding, shopping, that kind of thing. We've been doing that for many years. And my son was very active in that. He taught kids how to ride bikes and ride quads and all kinds of stuff. Well, one day we were with our Minty, and we were going on a bike ride to Coronado. We drove from Hamul. We're on the 94 West Freeway. We're right in front of this house on this freeway. And my wife's cell phone rings. Who do you think is calling us for the very first time and actually talking to us?
Right. With
The ligament. So we're all stunned that he's calling us right there. We're all looking at each other. We couldn't believe it. So we decided to have dinner with him. We had dinner with him and his mom, and we headed up at the Claim Jumper restaurant in Carlsbad. We all sat down to eat, and met Blake, this is the boy's name that got my son's ligament. He asked us, he said, what kind of car did Devin drive when he got in his accident? And we told him it was an Acura Integra and the model and everything. And he looks at us funny, and he goes, I drive that same car. So then we start talking to his mom, and we find out his mom is a CASA, which are like mentors. They take kids from the county out, shop with them, and that kind of thing. So we had all this stuff hooking up. And, God's working in our life all the time. He sees the conversation we're all having right now. And he wants you guys in heaven. Could he force that belief on you? Sure he could. He could do. I mean, we did all this. He certainly could force someone to believe in him, right? But we believe he wants us to choose him. It's kind of like a relationship with a parent to their kids. When a parent forces their love upon their kids, it don't mean much, does it? But when that kid throws their arms around their mom or dad and says, Mom, Dad, I love you for what you've done for me and who you are. Thank you. I love you. It means something totally different. And that's that choosing God for who he is. That's what he wants us to do. But anyway, that's the testimony in our life I just shared with you. He is real. And we want to see our son someday in heaven. People that don't believe in anything after they die, I just can't I can't figure out why they want to do that. And to have a belief where I'm going to be in heaven and get to share my eternity with my loved ones, my friends, that's huge. And instead of just going to sleep forever, wow. I don't know. For me, I just can't get around that one. But a couple of things. This is Funeral Bulletin. A couple of things I want to share with you real quick, since you guys are Christians, and something you might want to mention to people that don't believe. Have you guys ever heard about laminin?
No.
Laminin is what holds your body together. Amazing that it's a cross.
Oh wow.
Here's a microscopic view of what these hold all your cells together throughout your life. But if you're reading the Bible in Colossians 1:15 through 17, it says, let's read that real quick. The Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For in him all things were created, things in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or powers or rulers or authorities. All things have been created through him and for him. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. That hold together part. And he uses crosses to hold our body together. So, it's one of those things. Do some, when you go Google laminin, look into that a little bit. And the other thing is, this was taken by the Hubble telescope, but it's in the NASA website. This is what is in the Whirlpool galaxy. Amazing that it's a cross. you can go Google that when you get home. But God, He's a God of order. There's so much design and order in this life is all around you. That's another thing we share with people. It's kind of like we use this reference. They say, see this museum over here? Do you believe that there was a designer or creator to that museum? And you say, yeah. But you may not have seen somebody design and build that, but there was a designer or creator of that. There's a designer and creator to everything in this life. Just like we feel God created this complex life that we're in. And we tell them that, think about your nerves, your blood, your eyes. In that eye, everything has to work together simultaneously just to be able to see. To say there wasn't a designer, creator to all that is just far-fetched. It really is. And you really think about it. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of share that with you. And then I'll leave you this with also. What this card is, it says science confirms the Bible. Over here in this column is verses in the Bible. And this column is science now, what they've learned over the years. And this was science back then. So, and then you can see how that relates to each verse in the Bible here. And it shows that God's word's true, and there's evidence to help support that. So just things tools you can use to help, you get those friends that are really questioning all the time different things. It's okay to question. Nothing wrong with questioning. We've all had different backgrounds. Some of us grew up atheists, some of us grew up Hindus, some of us but whenever you talk to them, maybe the first time they've ever had the gospel explained to them. And, and God, if you ask God to help you explain that to him, he will. But you just got to take that leap of faith and go out there and do it. But I thank you for your time. You guys, any questions?
Sure.
Thank you. And God bless you both.
All right.
All right.
Thank you for what you guys are doing, by the way. That's amazing. That's really awesome.
All right.